I don't know what you guys want Eighth and I to do for me. I mean, I got to reach out to him, but, you know, maybe some of the NCOs would help. Maybe, but I doubt it. Pence just dropped the ball 20, 21. Huh. I don't. Okay. I don't know what that means. Yes, Metal Minister. Fire chat lets you send comms without Wi-Fi or data. I'll look into it. Do a parade. I'll see what I can do. If you're able to Skype call, I'm going to be restreaming my team on the ground, and you can as well through Skype. So again, we're talking about sum total bandwidth availability. It's not going to be, I mean, there just won't be a way to get out during the day, most likely. The protest is in D.C. Stop the steal, indeed. Only way we'll be forced to change is if faced with true present threat. The threat is not guns, weapons, or stupid shit. It's people, indeed. You're probably right. When I was there back in the day, we helped the pro-life protest, indeed. Don, looks like Pence just abdicated his duty as American again as of today. I don't know what that means. I know that he's fighting back against the suit, but you're gonna have to stop. You know. Okay, that's very exciting. That is, again, this doesn't. It's not a good sign. Don, what if shots are fired on the 6th? Run for your life. I wish I had a better answer, but here again, this is why this is so fluid. There's not an immediate action drill that we can all go train for, right? If you're in a crowd of 100,000 people within line of sight, if there are shots fired, you're stuck there. That's how it is. You know, those people are not going to have dispersion, right? You're not going to be able to run to the nearest thing, find something hard and stand behind it, right? So, do you think this is the death of democracy? Well, I mean, if the election's stolen and we just let it keep going, then democracy's already dead. Certainly the premise of the republic is dead. Everything to do with America is dead. So, I mean, carry on. I commend your effort to protest against the rigging of your elections and all that comes with it. Thank you. I've been walking daily. Knees and back are shot, but I'm training and planning on humping over 70 miles. Okay, so for those of you who are doing these sorts of things, do not train for at least a couple days before you get there, right? So stop on Monday. All right? Give yourself a couple of days to heal, and you'll be better off. There is a packing list kind of stream that has been already done. I'll probably go get the link to that and put it in the description when I'm done here. That said, I have to get back to work. So, thank you all for watching. I hope I see a lot of you on the 6th. I hope that there are enough of us willing to stand up and say no that it matters. I hope all of this is not in vain. And I know that a lot of you are adamant that you're going to be there, and I hope that you are all good, honest actors, and that we stand up and do something useful, and that all of this goes away. I just don't believe that that's coming. But I hope that you care enough to actually get up and go over there, because whatever is coming next is not going to be good. It's going to be painful and terrible. Thank you all for watching. And remember, fight the progressives wherever you find them, and fight them like your life depends on it. Because it does.
You may have never seen something like this, but every day John rummages through the garbage looking for something to eat. John here, like many Americans, had a job, but the government took it away with the COVID lockdowns and regulations. John may never experience death or intense symptoms from the virus, but he's forced to live in extreme poverty. You might think, what might I have in common with Americans like these? They're not like me at all. You couldn't be more wrong. Like you, these Americans know the value of work, but unlike you, they haven't been allowed to work to make ends meet all year long.
We also have in the legislation direct payments, which were not in the Republican bill, to America's working families. I would like them been bigger, but they are significant.
In terms of the bonus that corporate America received versus the crumbs that they are giving to workers to kind of put the schmooze on.
For $1.60 a day, you can bring hope to an American. Your $1.60 can mean Americans like John here can have clean water and food to eat. Call today. Again, what could amount to crumbs could make all the difference in the world. Call now and bring hope to the new medical tyranny they now live in. You may have never seen something like this, but every day John rummages through the garbage looking for something to eat. John here, like many Americans, had a job, but the government took it away with the COVID lockdowns and regulations. John may never experience death or intense symptoms from the virus, but he's forced to live in extreme poverty. You might think, what might I have in common with Americans like these? They're not like me at all. You couldn't be more wrong. Like you, these Americans know the value of work, but unlike you, they haven't been allowed to work to make ends meet all year long.
We also have in the legislation direct payments, which were not in the Republican bill, to America's working families. I would like them been bigger, but they are significant.
In terms of the bonus that corporate America received versus the crumbs that they are giving to workers to kind of put the schmooze on.
For $1.60 a day, you can bring hope to an American. Your $1.60 can mean Americans like John here can have clean water and food to eat. Call today. Again, what could amount to crumbs could make all the difference in the world. Call now and bring hope to the new medical tyranny they now live in.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just wanna start a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire, and that one is you. No other will do. I've lost all ambition for worldly acclaim. I just wanna be the one you love. And with your admission that you'd feel the same, I'll have reached the goal I'm dreaming of. Believe me, I don't want to set the world on fire. I just wanna start a flame in your heart. I've lost all ambition for worldly acclaim. I just wanna be the one you love. And with your admission, you'd feel the same. I'll have reached the goal I'm dreaming of. Believe me, I don't want to set the world on fire. I just wanna start a flame in your heart.
Hey, good evening, everyone. As your dedicated, let me show you how the media really works. I just had another interview with someone. Now, this interview, not so bad, but still about me. And I think it's important that you guys listen to the difference. WAPO is a different animal. This one is more a localized interview. This interview is with a reporter from the Forum or the Forum. It's more Midwest, owned by Qataris too, anyway. But I thought I'd play it for you. It's completely different. There was a hiatus within it because I actually had to take I had to take a phone call, and I think it's going to be a little bit more eye opening because it wasn't so on attack mode, so a lot easier. So the guy was pretty pleasant, still, asking about Sidney Powell, still asking about what WAPO wrote, and he also asked, if there's something you could tell WAPO, what would you say? So it was pretty good. So I'm going to play it for you, and we're going to listen to it together. If there's any clarification, I'll jump in, but it's pretty straightforward. Here we go. Hey, Adam, hold on a second. Hold on.
Hey, is this Lori?
Yes, it is. Hi, Adam. I was just talking with my attorney on positive events, finally getting some justice. And he said, hey, you need to call someone because I literally just got off the phone with him a while ago. And that you wanted to talk to me.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling back. I was getting in touch because I'm working on a story following up on the Washington Post story that came out. So the story the story focuses on you, and I just wanted to give you an opportunity to participate in the story if you were open to it.
Right. Well, I don't know why it's focusing on me. It should be focusing on the facts of the case, like my actual declaration rather than me. But when you can't hit facts, you hit the person, right?
Well, the story is just I think that it's a North Dakota angle basically. So I'm with the Fargo Forum. I'm not sure if David passed that along, but basically I think we just were hoping to write a story following up on what the Washington Post reported to let North Dakota readers know who you are, since you're since a lot of the background of this played out in North Dakota.
Yeah, well, in North Dakota, I've been, going after corruption on both sides, right? We're talking Republican and Democrat, right? For a very long time. So it's not like my first rodeo. It's just that I don't know if you heard, but the interview that I had with Swain, I actually recorded it and put it live.
I did. I was on your podcast earlier today.
Yeah. Well, I think I have it on. YouTube keeps taking my stuff down, and it's like, what's going on? But I do have the full one. It's like titled PSA. It seemed as if it's called PSA, all assets deployed. It was because people need to know, like, from behind the curtain how these interviews go. And Washington Post, obviously, because I know stuff on Khashoggi anyway. I knew exactly what that meant. But it was really sad to see them say, "Oh, she was found, that she did this," and it's like, first of all, there was no complaint. No one ever explains how this all started. Second, I didn't lose because I was found guilty of anything. It was default, and he even wrote up the judgment. Like, a judge let him write the judgment up. Like, this is crazy. That's like Gestapo China stuff.
You're referring to Wayne Stenstrom writing up that.
Yeah, Wayne Stenstrom also wrote up his whole second divorce, but the actual initial filing is missing. I may have the original one by Vogel, but he does that a lot when he wants to control the narrative.
I'm just getting this down. How did I think the Post touched on this, but wanted to be able to ask you, do you know how Sidney Powell came into contact with your affidavit, or did you send it to her, or have you talked to her at all?
Look, here's the thing. Sidney Powell, she looks at facts, right? And everything from a technical perspective supports exactly what I've been saying for years. It's not the first time, okay? I've sent off affidavits to congressmen and senators alike for almost a decade now. With my name, though, I would say only 2019 and 2018. Other than that, it was kind of giving them, information like, hey, the software is there. Hey, they're counting ballots overseas. Hey, they're connected to the internet and they're not safe. Hey, maybe we want to take a look at this. Hey, the software firmware isn't there. Or like I did with the EAC, where I was like, hey, the actual machinery and the components have not been inspected. This is a problem, and this is a national security issue. When we're talking about elections, it's national security. And it was always on deaf ears. It always has to be like something big or involve President Trump or anyone in his camp to make it a story, when it should have been something that every single American, no matter where they sit, should care about, which is frustrating, but whatever. My affidavit was in the hands of many. There were many attorneys that are working with Sidney Powell that I had, communicated with. I wasn't aware of who. I was just caring to get the information out. That's why I flew out there, to get it into the right hands. Because last year when I sent it off to Chuck Grassley, nothing happened.
So sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I'm keeping up. So you flew out to DC, you're saying?
So that I can hand it over to people.
Like, who did you meet with in DC?
I met with a lot of people, actually. A lot of teams, and they were all, gatekeepers, of course. Then I sent a bunch of emails. And if you look at my actual declaration, you'll see that everything is sourced. There's no room for wiggle there. It's all sourced and developed. So I made sure I took my affidavit from 2019, portions of the 2018 and 2017, where I had raised the concerns about the EAC certification for the 2017 elections. There weren't that many, but there were a few, right? And kind of tried to put the structure, but also stress the fact again by giving the only public sort of example of Ukraine and how, I observed the same thing that happened with us, where the elections just stood still and did nothing, was identical to that of Ukraine. And it just so happened that we're the ones that we were ushering it there. So, I mean, you could call it a coincidence, but that's like pretty mighty big for a coincidence. So
I'm just getting everything here.
Okay.
Do you, just because I want to make sure I'm clear on the part about visiting DC. You said you met with like a lot of different teams and a lot of people who were kind of like gatekeeper figures. I mean, were they like Trump administration people, or did you meet with Powell's team? I'm just hoping to get a better sense of like.
I know you guys want to, paint a picture. I mean, I'm not going to start throwing names out there. There were just a bunch of people, and that's it. I mean, there are a lot of people that, took sabbaticals from their work, left their work, flew into the Capitol to see how they could help. That's what every nation should crave for, to have people like that would be willing to just drop and run to help in a situation like this. Scientists, mathematicians, statisticians, former government employees, lawyers, to devote their time. And that's a big deal.
Did you receive an invitation to go to DC, or
No,
I'm again just trying to kind of like
no, none whatsoever. I actually tried to see if I can get a hold of Chuck Grassley, people that are on the Committee for Homeland Security, Armed Forces Services, cyber. Like, I was trying to reach out to senators and congressmen, and I wasn't getting anywhere. So I had to physically go, and that's where things start to happen. And that's sad that you have to physically get up and go. I mean, it was last minute. It wasn't expected. I was just like, hey, honey, guess what? We're going to DC. And she's like, what? I was like, you have a laptop. You can do school from there. Let's go. And stuck my cats in a cat hotel. I'm still bitching about it, though, because it cost me like $900 something for 10 days. So I'm upset. I'm really upset. I'm really upset about that. It cost me more than what it cost me for my hotel. You know what I mean? That was just crazy. But, I did that and then, flew back.
Okay. And did you, I know you said you don't want to like name specific people that you met with, but just so I can kind of get a sense
I
of
never
like, what
kiss
those
and
meetings
tell.
were like.
I don't kiss and tell.
No, I'm not. I guess I'm not looking for that necessarily. Again, I'm just kind of hoping to better understand the process. Have you? The Post reported that you hadn't spoken with Sidney Powell. Is that?
I have not directly spoken with Sidney Powell directly, but I've spoken to many attorneys, grilled to the point, where we're putting out information and looking at it one by one, where they have to go back and look and come back. So I spoke with many people that have been doing this for a very long time. They're not, interns, like the ones that were. Never mind. Keep that to myself.
How did you? I was looking for your affidavit, and I'm curious, like where you came, like how you came into contact with this evidence, I guess, or like where you cited some of your background here.
It's from my background.
I'm just wondering. Mm-hmm.
It's from the type of work that I used to do, that nobody wants to admit that there's other circles such as that, which is, offshore intelligence. I mean, we've been doing this election stuff overseas for a very, very long time.
What's your? Because I'd run this by David, and he said he deferred to you on it. But what's your background? Like I see you.
I work as a private contractor. That's as a private contractor. Actually, in my case with Wayne Stenjum, which also shows that that's exactly what he was doing, trying to unmask me through the court case. I mean, he's telling me that I spent money on cookies and shit, right? But he's asking me, tell me where you've lived since you were 18. Tell me all of this stuff. In there, it clearly states I work for Global Strategies Group under the direction of John Brennan. And when he left Global Strategies Group and was CIA director, it's pretty clear. And I knew exactly what Wayne St. John was doing. I mean, he was best friends with McCain. McCain hates me. Well, hated me.
So sorry, you said you worked under Global Strategies Group.
Well, that's
during
like
John
one of the
Brennan's
names.
tenure.
Listen, Adam, the one thing that people don't understand is that company has changed like a million names. That's what they do to make it confusing so people can't keep check. Okay. But it's the same company, and it, you know, depending on what nation you're in, and what contracts it has and what image it wants to portray or sign on, it shifts the name, but it always stays within the same. There's GSG, Global Strategies Group, Global Security, Global Strategies Innovation Group. You know, they changed the name 100 times. That's how they do it. I think CBS had done a report in 2013 claiming this. Same. That John Brennan, you know, has this company that changes so many names, and people keep thinking it's GSG in London, but it's actually in Luxembourg. I was like, wow, real news. That was 2013. He was pretty pissed too when that happened.
I want to get a little bit of like some of your own biography into the story, if you're okay with that.
There's nothing to tell. I have a thin file. I'm a private contractor. Can't talk about most of the stuff I did. And that's it.
I think David had said you no longer live in North Dakota. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are you able to say where you live now?
I don't, because and that's for safety reasons. Not so much for me, for my children.
Okay, but it's accurate to say that you no longer live in North Dakota.
Correct.
Okay, when did you leave?
Last year. Well, in 2020.
In 2020. Okay, so earlier this year.
Yeah, early 2020.
Early 2020. Okay. Okay, and I wanted to make sure I got your name spelled correctly. David had said that the Washington Post
spelled it wrong again. I
inaccurately.
know, right? I have like a passport. I have ID, but everybody goes by Wayne St. John's word. It's like, he's so dumb. That's not how it's spelled. I don't know why he keeps doing that to me.
So could you give me the correct spelling?
Yeah, it would be T for Tango, E for Echo, R for Romeo, P for Papa, S for Sierra, E for Echo, H for Hotel, O for Oscar, R for Romeo, E for Echo.
Okay, got it. And then they spelled your last name correctly?
Well, I don't use my married portion anymore. I mean, I haven't changed the documentation yet, but I will at some point.
I see. Okay. Okay. How long did you? I know you're calling me on a. I guess I thought this was an Oregon number. How long did you live in North Dakota and in Minot?
Wow. 20. I guess it would be a full 5 years.
Okay.
Shy, a couple weeks.
Okay. I also wanted to ask you quickly about the event the event that became the subject of that lawsuit with Wayne St. John, the 2016 event.
Mm-hmm.
Or excuse me, I guess it was 2017, the Magic City Christmas event.
Okay.
So I know the Attorney General has said that you had used funds from that event.
Look, the Attorney General says whatever. Yeah. Listen, Adam, the Attorney General says whatever he wants.